Hello, this is a Bösendorfer Grand 200 centimeters long and made in 2002. Now the piano is practically immaculate and has had very little use, as you can tell by the felt here and also by the hammers, which you'll see later on. On the side of it, it also has the name Bösendorfer written. I've not polished that up because that's obviously used for the concert hall. Bösendorfer is one of the most popular concert pianos, and so that's not polished up at the moment unless you want it to be. The piano is immaculate in every way. Just have a quick look at the inside. There's some photos of this as well on our website, but you can see that it looks like a new piano. Now, we bought the piano from the original purchaser, who'd not moved the piano, so it's not had any damage at all. This is the box that came with it initially. That's a useful cushion actually for just wiping off finger marks. If you get finger marks on a piano, it doesn't scratch, so it's very useful to have that. Bluetooth also do that with their new pianos. I don't know if other makes do, I'm not sure which ones do. And there's some, I always find this rather quaint, socks for the pedals. And, a lot of older pianos had socks, left, centre and right, so they're not really often left on for ages and ages actually. I think to stop the brass tarnishing when it's new, that might not be a bad idea. That's the original key, and that's typical Bösendorfer. That just kind of covers the keys. Not really much used for anything, I don't think. Particularly if you're in the trade or a musician and use that, let me know. There's the original invoice from the shop, which is now not there anymore. But you can see the original price, 37,520 RRP. Piano was actually sold. Well, you can read the figures for yourself. I just thought you'd be interested to see that, as we have got paperwork, which is nice to have. Now the main work we need to do on this piano is just to do with the weighting of the keys. They're uneven. There's some quite heavy ones here, 63. 49 at the top is roughly correct. 48 plus or minus 2 is acceptable. And going to the bass, we see 52. Again, 52 to 50 to 54 is acceptable. 56 there. These rather big patch here. We'll see what's causing that. And I think it's mainly lubrication. We mentioned this many times before, that if you lift the key up and it stays up, then it's absorbed a bit of moisture. It's not been used for a long time. It was sitting in a room on its own when I bought the piano, inspected it, and very well cared for, but not really used very much, and just in a room that wasn't used, and probably very slightly on the damp side. So all of these don't go down freely. They go down more or less, but not freely. And we'll look at the hammers too, which are also very stiff. So this is note 28, one of the two very sticky notes, or very heavy notes, and you can see that it is sticky. If I play the note 27 next to it, that goes up and down straight away. So there's a problem with the hinge of the hammer here. Let's have a look at the two hinges together. So if we lift them up almost to vertical, the left hand one drops and this one doesn't until you get it to here. So it really is quite stiff. This is note 27, the better one of the two. It should swing around about 5 times, and you can say it's a lot less than 5. And this is note 28, the really stiff one. Doesn't swing at all. So if we apply a bit of Protect piano lubricant to both of these hinges, that's 28, this is 27. So if I hold still, I'm on my own, so sorry about that. And now this is note 27, should swing a maximum of 7 times. That's at 7 times exactly, I think. And this is note 28. So it's about 5. So now note 28, which was 63, has been brought down to 59, just under 59. The note next to it was lighter. I didn't measure that before, but you can see it's a lot lighter. So note 27 is about 52 grams, which is just fine for where it is on the keyboard. I think the main difference, the reason there's a difference, is because this is note 27 is going up and down quite smoothly when I push my finger under it, and that one isn't. That's note 28. So if we lubricate the centre balance rail with dry lubricant, which we've mentioned many times before, then that will cure it probably. The other lubrication point is the knuckle or roller here, and you can see that it's had the white That'll be talc because it's a Renner action, and Renner use talc. So put a bit more talc, or I've got Teflon powder, which is similar. The trade uses talc and Teflon powder to put along here, and that will make it a little bit smoother as well. So just before we listen to the piano, the hammers, you can see really not any use whatsoever, or extremely little use, and the roller also is not worn at all. While we have the action out, there's an opportunity to see, as I've mentioned before, the Bösendorfer's wonderful style. Some top quality German pianos have these too, with the spoons for the key lift, and also for the damper rail lift you've got these extra capstans, which can give you extra fine adjustment. If we compare that with this fully restored Steinway Model B, we can see it's much simpler. This is more the common style really for a damper. It doesn't have the extra adjustments for the key lift and also for the damper rail lift. Now, before comparing the with the Bösendorfer with other pianos, I thought it'd be interesting to see, have the opportunity to see the way that Bösendorfer finish off their bass strings, which is quite unique. This kind of like comes to a bit of a knob here, and look at the Steinway, compare it with. Here's a Steinway. It's a lighter colour strings because they've just been fully restored, so they're brand new. You can see that's a typical way that most pianos, what we call coning, where they finish off with the cone shape at the end. So very pretty as well. Now let's compare the tone. First of all, the Bösendorfer in the main singing area. Fully restored Steinway B 1910. Yamaha C2 2006, 170 centimeters long. And Schimmel 151, 1988. So that's a Bösendorfer 2 meters long grand piano made in 2002, just coming to stock. They're just trying to assess it and also see what sort of work needs doing on it. And that's mainly lubrication. It's not been used for a long time. It wasn't in a damp house at all. In fact, it's in the middle of a house, but not in a room that's not been used a lot. Tends to get slightly damp, and so the hinges are damp, and the balance rail is needing lubrication as well. And so, having done the hinges on the hammers, we can see that we've reduced the weight of the keys. If necessary, we'll also have to weight them. I don't think so though, or even out the weight. We want to get the weight as even as a new piano, because there's no reason why you shouldn't buy this. It's no different from a new piano really. A very good year of manufacture for Bösendorfer 2002. Wherever you play the piano, it sings beautifully. The tenor area, tone carries for a long time. And the bass, well, I think it's as good as the longer Model B Steinway that we have. It's a very rich sound, very warm sound. It's not quite as deep as the Steinway, obviously the strings aren't as long, but the beautiful sound. Both the action and the tone It's a top quality Renner action, and we've looked at the damper system, how fastidious they are in making as good a piano as possible. It's very delicate to play as well, very good dynamic range, and very good on a quarter pedal contrast as well, which we'll obviously try and make even better if we can. So if you're interested in the piano during this lockdown period, please let us know what you'd like to do, if you'd like to try it out. As I mentioned on an earlier video, this lockdown, as of the last one, we let people try out pianos so that they could see if they like them or not. And it saves you having to wait, especially near Christmas. You'd like to get a piano in by Christmas perhaps. So the opportunity to do so. This one's ready to go, apart from a little bit of lubrication. Thank you very much for listening. Please do write to us, info@robertspianos.com, if you'd like to ask any questions.